And when your sorrow is comforted, time suits all sorrows, you will be content that you have known me. You will always be my friend. You will want to laugh with me, and you will sometimes open your window. So for that pleasure, it will be as if, in place of the stars, I had given you a great number of little bells that knew how to laugh. The Little Prince is a fable and modern classic by French aviator and writer Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, and I will from now on refer to him as the author, because I'm pretty sure that my French is very faulty. The book was published with his own illustrations in France in 1943. It tells the story through the narration of an aviator who meets the little prince, a child who travels the universe gaining wisdom. The book has been translated into hundreds of languages and has sold some 200 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling books in publishing history. For my October theme, I was inspired by this timeless story and on the mesmerizing visuals of one of its cinematic adaptations from 2015. If you haven't read the book or watched the movie, I definitely recommend you to do so in that order. And then you cannot miss the fascinating documentary on the author's life, background, and inspiration behind the story. It's entitled Invisible Essence, The Little Prince. I just watched it for the making of this video, and I'm going to quote many of my favorite parts, the ones that left me with a deeper sense of gratitude for all the lessons that the author left for us through the experiences that he had to suffer or cherish. The book is about the failure of imagination in the grown-up world. The main theme of the fable is expressed in the secret that the fox tells the little prince. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. The narrator and little prince have been viewed as expressions of different aspects of the author himself. Therefore, they are the same person. He tries to create the idea of man's life, which means that the child he was and the man he now is hold hands. And this is an idea that I love, because it is said that the creative adult is the child who survived. I wholeheartedly agree that to truly appreciate the beauty of our world, we need to look at it through the eyes of a child, through wonder, innocence, and a hunger for knowledge and experimentation. The author's life symbolically is a permanent quest to return to childhood. You have to grow up, you can stop the clock, but we were all once kids, and no matter what's happened to you as a grown-up, you have this ability to tap back into that more innocent, more pure time in your life. It's about remembering that and staying connected to that. The book, though projected as a children's book, is in reality for adults. And this is very well noted by the author's dedication. It says, I apologize to the children for having dedicated this book to an older person. I have, however, a serious excuse. This older person is the best friend I have in the world. I have another excuse. This older person can understand everything, even the books written for children. And I also have a third excuse. This older person lives in France, where he endures hunger and cold. Therefore, he has a real need for comfort. But if all these excuses were not enough, then I want to dedicate this book to the child who this older person once was. All the adults were children first, but few remember it. Therefore, I correct my dedication to Leon Worth when he was a child. So the book is filled with symbolisms and reflections that go deep into the meaning of relationships and life. It is told in such a way that it entertains children, but it really puts the adults to think. For example, when the little prince takes off on his intergalactic journey, he makes 6 stops before arriving on Earth. And every solitary human on each one of these planets has a characteristic that is preventing him from forming meaningful bonds with other people. And what it exposes are all the human vanities to which every one of us on the planet, no matter where we live, what color our skin, what language we speak, what our religion, they're all of the vanities to which we are prone. Something else that changed my perspective was learning that the author experienced the war, and this changes everything on the book, and you start to feel the pain in it. Yet, he was able to convey a sense of pain and hope in one work of art. A little parenthesis for my word of the month, simplicity. Once again, it fits really well with my theme because I believe that the little prince led a very simple life, one that allowed him to focus on the things that truly mattered. And also, the book's writing style, being child-friendly, is simple yet deep and powerful. Back to the story, from the bond that forms between the little prince and the fox, we learn that friendship depends on its duration, on its depth. You have to share something that will endure. It does give meaning to the whole of life when you have something to share. One of the most famous quotes of the book, and a timeless truth at the same time, comes from this interaction. "Goodbye," said the fox. "Here's my secret, a very simple secret. It's only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." No matter what your interpretation of the book is, or wherever you are coming from, or however you're looking at the book, and whatever age you are, that quote resonates and stays with you, because love is not a transaction. It's a form of self-sacrifice. It's a form of surrender, and we have to risk everything in our pursuit if we were to deserve it. Another lesson that I love is when the little prince encounters the merchant selling sophisticated pills intended to quench thirst. If a single pill was swallowed once a week, the need to drink disappeared. "Why are you selling these?" asked the little prince. "Because it saves a lot of time," said the merchant. "Experts have worked it all out. You save 53 minutes a week." "And what does one do with those 53 minutes?" "Whatever one wishes." "If I had 53 minutes to spend," said the little prince, "I would walk very slowly towards a spring of fresh water." It's the time that we activate, the power to live, the power to do, the power to advance. The author puts an end to the fatality of passive time, and instead creates a time that belongs to the soul. As a man of science, an aviator, he was always entirely enchanted by technology. But on the other hand, the author will rail against the technology, and that sense of our being isolated by these advances is something that he really anticipates. I wonder what he would say if he was alive and saw the way that today's gadgets consume our time. The little prince says that it's not about the taste of the water, but about how hard we really had to work to find it and to experience it. Water represents life. On July 31st, 1944, the author left for his 10th reconnaissance mission. This last flight remains a mystery because he was supposed to return to base after taking a picture of occupied France. The plane crashed directly into the water at high speed. The wreckage was identified in the Mediterranean Sea, not far from Marseille. A fisherman found in his nets the author's bracelet. When the book was finally published in France, it was after the war, and the author was no longer alive. And obviously, the disappearance of the little prince at the end reads differently in light of the author's death. His disappearance is part of the mystique of the little prince, because it seems to be so much the kind of thing that would happen within the world of the little prince, that the aviator would fly off at the end into the unknown. And so the little prince is a universal message of peace. What matters is what you carry around inside you, your treasure chest of memories. That doesn't necessarily involve either language or words. The heart has the finest register that we have of all. The importance of the heart with respect to love, that's very important in The Little Prince and the Invisible Essence. Here's the final flip through of my October theme, centered on this endearing character that continues to rob our hearts. The biggest takeaway for me is to always go hand in hand with your inner child, always surprised and always grateful. Let me know what you think of The Little Prince or which other book is part of your literature treasures. I hope you like this theme, and I'm really grateful for all the comments and all the support. This year has been about adapting to lots of changes, and I hope that from now on, I can have a steadier schedule of video uploading. So let me know any ideas that you might want to see. And as usual, thank you so much for watching.